Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 3 false cuts every magician should know. Now I know I have already uploaded a few videos on false cuts, but I figure since I was going through and remaking the videos that didn't have the best lighting or quality, I would do this one because my lighting was very bad. So it might be hard to follow along for that video, so I thought I would remake it. But I took out one of the cuts and I put a new one in place of it instead, because I already taught that third false cut. But when we get to the third one, I'll show you what that is, how it's done real quick, and then we'll do the one I put in place. So without further ado, let's get into the false cuts. Now for those of you that don't know what a false cut is, essentially it's a cut that can either retain a stack of cards or the whole deck. So for this case, let's use the 2 red queens so I can show you how this cut is done. So in this case, we have the queen of hearts on top and the queen of diamonds on the bottom. Here's what the first cut looks like. Just like that. And we have the queen of hearts on top. And we have the queen of diamonds on the bottom. Let's get into how this is done. So what you're going to do is simple. You're going to have to know how to do a swivel cut. Now if you don't know how to do a swivel cut, I might make a video on it. But I will show you how to do a swivel cut right now. So how you're going to do this is sort of like a swing cut. So you're going to hold the deck with your middle and ring on the top, your thumb at the back. Now keep in mind this is close to the edge. And then you have your index finger right here and then your pinky off. There's a few ways you can do this. One way I do this is I use my index finger and I break off about half. And then I come over with my other index finger. That's just to grab the packet easily. But once you know how to do the swivel cut, you might not need to do that. But it does help out. So once again, your middle and ring is going to be here. Your thumb is on the back. You're going to contact half of the deck with your other index. Once you contacted it, you're going to push down and then up to break off half. Now that might be hard because you might not always get half. So something I do is I lift up with my index finger right when I'm coming in with my other index finger. And then I'm also rotating the packet too. Okay, so the deck is going to be rotated horizontal towards the spectator. Okay, so once again you're like this. I do these 3 steps at once. First, I come over and I turn this packet. While I'm turning the deck, I'm going to break off. And that is when I contact with my index finger. Okay? So it's going to look like this. Once you can do this, you can do the next move. So you're going to come over and you're going to do this. When you contact it, you're going to rotate the half here. Now you'll notice if you rotate it one way, you'll run into your thumb. If you rotate it the other way, you can go as far as you would like, and it's going to go across your first knuckle of your index finger. That's what you're going to do. So I break off and I rotate it, but I do about halfway. And that's when I come over and bring my hand right under. And I move this hand out of the way towards myself. Just like that. Now if you want to, you could very well rotate it all the way and then bring it back. Because they're going to be, what's this, vertical? Because they're going to be vertical. So you could either do it this way, so they're vertical, or you could do it so it's horizontal. Either way you do it, you're going to come over this other half and place it on top. And that is a swivel cut. Okay? So that is essentially what the cut is. So you hold it like this. You're going to break off contact. Now you're going to turn it. And I bring this half in towards myself. Notice how it drops into your palm. So make sure your palm isn't too closed like this, or it won't look as good, because you want it to lay nice and flat. So like this, and then like that. So if we were to do the false cut here, so the queen of diamonds right here, and the queen of hearts right here, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do the same thing, except when you do the first part, that's fine. You can lay into your hand. This part, instead of closing it on top, you're going to drop it, and then drop this half on top. So if I turn this face up, just like that. Now if you wanted to, you could do this, come over, catch your break, and then cut it like a normal cut. You could do that as well. So you can either do it this way, or you can do it this way. So, that is how you can do the first cut. One more time, you're going to hold it like this. You're going to lift up. You can either do about halfway and then drop it, or you can do it vertical, okay? But either way you do it, you're going to come over, and then you can either take this packet and drop it, and drop these on top, or you can come over with a break, and then you can drop it. Now, one more variation, you could call it, is you can cut more than half, okay? So I cut maybe down here, about 30 to 40. I'm going to come over, and I'm going to do the same thing, except this time when I drop this half, if you need this whole deck to say in size Stebbins or something, you can do it again. So big half, big half, big half. And you can continue doing that all you want. And it's going to look like you actually cut the deck. So if we have the queen of diamonds and the six of hearts, which should be the queen of hearts. So, right there. Okay, so, the two red queens right here. Let's say you cut a big half, you put that down, cut another half, another half, another half, and one more half. Now that last half, all I do is very easy. I just come over and I grab it and I drop it. And that will be the first false cut. I don't know the name of it, but that's the first one. Let's get into the second false cut. Now this one is a very easy false cut, but you have to do it on the table. Unlike the first one where you can probably do a double undercut, which I will teach you at the end, because I didn't go over it. So for this one, here's what you're going to do. Let's say we have the two queens, but keep in mind you wouldn't know that. I'm going to come over and I'll give the deck a little cut. And just like that, the queen of diamonds, the queen of hearts. So, for this false cut, here's what you're going to do. You're going to have to do this on the table. Unless you have someone hold their hand like this, it's going to work better on the table. So what you're going to do is this. You're going to come over and you're going to hold the deck sort of, I do this a little different, but I hold it like this. My middle ring finger is on the side, my thumb's on the other side. I come over with my index finger, I push down at the top, and then I just push down. So I bevel these down essentially. So I push down at the top, and then the rest of my finger pulls down like this. And that's just because I'm going to grab the bottom half, but I like to cover it. So I come over and I grab this bottom half with my other fingers. And keep in mind, my fingers here are going to be the same. So middle ring and then thumb. But you don't have to bevel it down. You can just leave your index finger there. Either way you do this, you're going to come over with your other hand and you're going to take out about half of the deck. Now, I find with my middle finger it's the easiest. So I come over and I grab half. And here's what you're gonna do. When you grab half, you're gonna strip it out. This is not half, but it's good enough. You're gonna strip it out, and you're gonna do this motion like this, okay? So we come over here, we grab this, we take it out, and immediately this hand goes down in front of this packet, and then this one comes towards myself. I bring this one back toward myself, I drop that, and then I drop that, and that retains the whole deck. So once again, you're like this. Gonna come over, grab. You're gonna strip out. Bring this in towards yourself while this one goes down and then towards yourself. This first packet gets dropped down. The second half goes down like that. And that is how you're gonna do the cut. So essentially, if you want to say, let's cut your selection into the deck, the Queen of Hearts, we can cut it. Now something I do is I turn the packet, okay? So I come over here and I drop this, but then I turn this the other way, okay? So my wrist towards myself, I grab it and then I drop it. So one more time, like this, I do it down, and while I do that, I turn my wrist towards myself, I grab this, and I slam it down. And that retains the cards. So, two ways you can do this. You can do it like this, if you want to cut it in, or if you really want to cut it in, you can do it like that. But you know you're not really cutting it in. Okay, so the last cut I taught in the video was this cut right here. Now, I'm going to switch that cut out for this cut, okay? So, let's get into how this one is done. So for this one, which I have already taught, you're going to hold the deck like this, middle ring, pinky off to the side, your thumb right here. You're going to lift up about a quarter, and you're going to break it off and swing it to your other hand. Now, when you catch it, you're going to open up half again. You're going to come in, and this first half is going to be held with your ring. I like to do my pinky and then my thumb. You're going to grab this third half, which is now the second half. You're going to grab that with your thumb. You're going to use your index or your thumb, okay, to swivel this half, so the swivel cut right into here, and then drop it on top. And that retains both cards. So one more time. And one more time, I'll do this as slow as I can, just for you to follow along. And that is how you can do the cut. Now this one I'm going to teach you, I'm not the best at it, okay? So you can let me know if it looked convincing. So I don't think it did, but here's what it looks like one last time. So we have the Queen of Hearts, and we're going to cut it in. But in that case, I really did cut it in. So here we go. Queen of Hearts, just like that. And we have the Queen of Hearts. So let's get into how this one is done. So this is probably the hardest cut. You're going to have to practice it in front of the mirror. I'm still practicing it every day, but I thought I would do this one instead. So you're going to start off like any other cut. You're going to swing cut, but instead, here is the move. When you go over to grab this packet, you're going to be grabbing this bottom packet. So I come over, and my fingers are going to curl over, and I'm going to bring this away while swiping my thumb across. Notice how my hand drops, and this comes over, and it goes on top. So just like this. So make sure you practice that so it looks really good and convincing. So one more time, here's what you're going to do. Like this. You're going to break off half. You're going to come over and your fingers are going to curl on the side. And you're going to tilt this down while your thumb runs across. And then you're going to throw that on top. Just like that. And those were the 3, maybe 4 false cuts. I'll do them one more time, very slow, and then that will be the video for today. So the first one is that swivel cut. And notice how I tilt my hand down too. So I come over here, and then I stop about halfway, and then I do this. Now I forgot to mention that I was actually going to teach the double undercut with this move, which I might have done before, but you're going to come over and you're going to keep your break. And then you're going to come over to thumb break, and now you can either cut it like this, or if you don't need the bottom half retained, okay, so I come over like this, you can actually do a swing cut, and then a swivel cut at the break, and then throw that on top. But that's if you don't need the whole deck retained. So one more time. And keep in mind, you can do as many as you would like, depending on how big your packet is. The second one goes like this. So you're going to hold this, grab right here about halfway. Going to come over. Notice how my hands turn. And then like that. I'm going to try to get this higher so you can see. Just like that. And then the last one. Either do it with your index finger or your thumb. And then the last one I think looks better with the cards face down. But those were the false cuts. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because I just hit 90 subscribers. So at 100, I'll be doing a question and answer. So if you have any questions at all, make sure you leave them down below. But watch the other videos I'm going to link so you know what questions I have asked and what questions I'm only going to answer once. So make sure you check out the comments of all these videos I've uploaded past my second question and answer video, which I'll link down below. You can ask as many as you would like and any questions you would like. That's it. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed. Let me know what else you would like to see. That's it, and I will see you next time. Bye.